Now it's time to start looking at a practical application question. Look at this. It says the math kangaroo. What is a math kangaroo? Oh, it's an international mathematics competition. Well, how about that? It's held in, look at this, over 40 countries, including Canada here. Now, suppose the cost of preparing books for the Canadian version. Well, if it's in 40 different countries, all of these books have to be translated, right? So all these booklets have to come in, of course, in Canadian English. So your job then is to create this Canadian version of this booklet. So think about this. It includes a $675 in fixed costs. You're probably going, huh? $675? That sounds like a lot of money. Yeah, but somebody's got to write the booklet. Somebody's got to design the booklet. Somebody's got to send it to a publisher and da-da-da-da-da. That's where the fixed cost comes in. So you're looking at $675 in fixed costs, and then the printing costs on top of that, which is $3.50 per booklet. Holy smokes, that's expensive, right? And then finally, you're going to turn around and you're going to sell these booklets, and you're going to sell them for $30 each. So look how this suddenly becomes an addition, subtraction kind of combination of functions. Well, let's do what the question asks us. First things first. It says, write an equation to represent the total cost as a function of number. Well, think about it. The cost as a function of number is that $675 plus $3.50 for every booklet sold. So the more booklets you sell, the more the cost. Ouch. So in other words, you're starting very, very much in debt until, holy smokes, and your debt keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, somewhere in there, you want a revenue. Here's your revenue stream. So that's this part. It says the revenue R is a function of the number of booklets. So the only money you're going to make is by selling the booklets for $30 each. Wow, that's expensive. But you're hoping to somehow recover some of the costs, right? Now, profit then is what you're after, because you want to make money from this. Deep down inside, you want to make a profit. And a profit is a function of the books. Now, look what it says. It's the difference between the revenue and the total cost. Well, think about this. This is the revenue and the total cost. So in other words, what you make on the booklets, subtract the cost will give you how much profit you make. Simple. Okay, so let's actually put those numbers in. Revenue, remember, is 30N. Oops, I can just write it as 30N like that. Didn't need the brackets. Subtract the cost. Now the cost, since I'm subtracting, that's where I'm going to put the brackets. This is 675 plus 350N. Okay, don't forget, distribute the negative. So if you work this out, this works to be 30N minus 675. So that's interesting. That's that $675 or $670 that you're in the hole. That's a lot of money. That's not even printing one booklet or selling one booklet. That's $675 to start. Ouch. Okay, minus 3.5N. Combine these guys together. So combine like terms. That's this guy and this guy to give you 26.5N minus 675. There's your profit. Okay, now, so you got all of these equations up there. Now you have to go in front of the entire committee and you have to tell the committee, oh, ta-da, this is what it's going to cost and this is how we're going to make profits and so on. So what's the best way of actually showing how this works? Of course, like this. On a graph. There you go. So let's write out all the equations first. Okay, so the first equation we had was the cost equation. So the cost equation as a function of n is 350N, so the cost of each booklet, plus $675 that you had to dish out. Okay? Now, the next thing, of course, was the revenue. The revenue was $30 a booklet. And then you said that the profit here was this 2675 or 2650, sorry, 2650 minus 675. And that's your profit margin. So let's graph all of this stuff. Well, it's actually pretty easy to graph. Let me show you how. Let's do the green one first. Let's do the cost one first. 675 is way, way the heck up here, somewhere right around here. But the cool thing is this is going to go out and it's going to give you a fairly flat line, okay, at 350. So the line is going to look something kind of somewhere around like this, something like that, okay? Now, the other cool thing here is this. Here comes your revenue. Your revenue, if you think about it, starts at 0, and you start making money by selling booklets. So by selling booklets, you're going to look something like that, okay? And those two are going to intersect right about somewhere around there, okay? Now, take a look at our last one. Remember, you're starting at a y-intercept of minus 675. Holy smokes, that's going to come out right around here somewhere. Boom. And that's going to give you a line that's going to look something like this. Now, notice how I'm saying something, something, something. Well, remember, I'm just sketching the graph. I'm not really drawing this too accurately. I'm going to actually use my calculator right away to do that for me. But one of the things I want to show you is this right here. Check this out. These guys are going to make an intersection, which is going to be very, very similar to the intersection that you have right here. It's going to be very, very similar to this. Why is that point important? Well, remember, this is our profit line. So everything underneath here, you're losing money. This is the point where you break even, and this is the point where now you make money. So that line to your committee when you're doing this presentation is going to be the most important line. But they're based on those two lines there. Okay, so I know what you're saying. This looks really, really messy. Well, let's clean it up and let's find what those actual numbers are. Let's use our calculator. Here's our calculator. Now, if you look at this, I put the y equals 2 in there. There's my 350 plus 675. There's my 30x. Now, notice I didn't put my profit in there yet. I'm going to put my profit in there right now. Now, if you think about this, this is our cost, right? This is our revenue. Remember, the whole thing is revenue minus cost, right? Okay, so it's actually y2 minus y1. All right, so here we go. Alpha 4, y2, we got to mouse down to y2, minus alpha 4, y1, which is this guy right here. Okay, and let's graph this. So let's get rid of all of this scribble marks here. Okay, let's get rid of all the scribble marks here. There it is. And let's just graph this. Boom. Well, that looks horrible. Well, why does it look this way? Well, remember, we're on Zoom Standard. We're on 10, 10, 10, 10. So what are the actual values that we need? Go back to here, and I've given you the values right off the graph. Look, I've given you up to 1,000 here, and down here, it's actually, if I move this down here, is down around minus 1,000. So there's your y values, and my x values go from 0 to 50. Okay, so one thing at a time. Let's go x values from 0 to 50 first. Notice that they're going up by 5s. Okay, so all right, here we go. Calculator time. Go to your windows. Okay, minus 1 is good enough, so it shows the axis all the way up to x max of 50, and I'm going by a scale of 5s. Beautiful. Excellent. Okay, let's go to graph it and see what it looks like so far. Well, still looks kind of horrible now, doesn't it? Okay, so let's go back to this, going from minus 1,000 to positive 1,000, and it looks like I'm jumping up by hundreds, right? I'm going up by hundreds here. Okay, so back to our calculator. Window, minus 1,000 for our y value. Okay, positive 1,000 for our y max, and we're scaling up by 100 each time. That should give us a pretty graph. And look, lo and behold, there it is. There's our profit right here, which matches with this. Now you're probably saying, well, why in God's name does that match with that? Well, remember, this point here, right, equals to this point here. Think of the y values. Both the y values at that point, oops, are the same. So remember, it's one graph minus the next. So if the y value is the same, let's say it's, oh, I don't know, let's say it's 800. If it's the same, 800 minus 800 is, guess what? 0, and that's why it appears as a 0 there. So how do I find that 0? Guess what? Second calc, find me the 0, 2. Left bound, oh, wait a second, we're on y1. I don't want to be on y1. I want to be on this black graph here. Well, I don't know which one that black graph is, so I'm going to mouse down. Oh, look, that's now on y2, which is the red graph, and now y3, there it is, y2 minus y1. I want to do my x bound, enter. I want to do my right bound, enter, find that 0 value. And if you see that 0 value, it's at 25.47. In other words, 25.5 books. Once you've sold 25.5 books, you break even. You're right there. Notice it blinking. But wait a second. How do you sell 0.5 of a book? You can't. So your break-even point is actually at 26 books. Okay, so you have to sell at least 26 books, then you start making a profit. That's easy. Now, I told you that this value and that value are going to be the same. Let's prove it. How would I find the value of these two lines? Well, that would be, of course, the intersect. So, second calc, find me the intersect. Sorry, it's messy. 5 between y1 and y2. Guess and check it out. It is exactly the same value again, 25.47. Look at that, 25.5 books or 26 books. That's how you do this particular question. So go back and make sure that you've answered it now by saying, okay, identify the domain of the total cost, the revenue, the profit functions in context of this problem. Well, of course, we know that you have to sell at least 26 books to break even and start making a profit. What is the domain? Of course, you can't sell negative books. You can't sell a negative book. So your domain starts at n has to be greater than or equal to 0. That's how it works. Okay? Really great practical application question.